Years ago, when Prime Minister Modi took charge as the head of the country, he promised a transformed India. In fact, a lot has changed in this country, but has performance matched the promise that was made? That's what we are here to discuss. Amitabh Dubey of the Congress Party, Shehzad Poonawalla of the BJP. I'll start with you, Amitabh. You know, I saw the press conference that the Congress Party did. In fact, he was one of those people who brought out that 75-page pamphlet, and you said, this is propaganda versus Hesab. But, you know, when the UPA was nearing its term, the end of its term, you know, we heard voices like hubris and policy paralysis. There were people out in the streets protesting. Nothing of that sort is happening right now. So how is the Congress Party looking at 12 years of Modi Sarkar?
Well, firstly, I would correct you. I think there are lots of protests going on. There have been lots of protests going on. Most recently with the issue of education. The NSUI and the Youth Congress have been on the streets across the country protesting the alleged corruption that went into the CBSE allocation of the on-screen marking. We've had paper leak after paper leak, 89 paper leaks under this government. 49 exams had to be taken again. And you know what this means for the future of the youth is well understood by everyone. So I think it would be incorrect to say that there has not been widespread protest. We saw the farmers' agitation, which forced the farm laws to be taken back. This has been the case repeatedly. I think the basic fact is that there is some momentum. A country like India with 1.4 billion people will have its own intrinsic momentum across successive governments. So you will have an underlying economic growth, demographic shift. The question is, what do the decisions made by this government produce? And as Warren Buffett said, when the tide goes out, we see who's been swimming naked. And you just look at the economic situation right now. The rupee is in free fall. We have 2.1 lakh crore have left the country, both FDI and investment. India's business community is now all shifted to Dubai, London, Singapore. Their money is now going with them. So this is the reality that we have to deal with, that the government, despite all of its claims, cannot explain how this macro situation has reached here. So this is, unfortunately, the reality. We have a lot of promise, but whether it's education, whether it's the economy and other areas we can talk about, there is huge disappointment.
Shehzad, you know, Narendra Modi is the most consequential Indian politician that we know so far, and we can say that the Congress Party probably has not been able to come up as the only alternative, but what he's saying is also right, and especially on the issue of CBSE, every household has been affected because, you know, every household has a child. It's also aspirational. So you have either the CUET exam leak happening or the NEET UG leak happening, or for that matter, the CBSE entire re-evaluation mess that's underway. So is the government not getting its basics right?
First of all, thank you, Vasudha, thank you, NDTV, for having the two of us. Usually, these sessions are organized in the morning so that if the coffee doesn't do the trick, then two fighting spokespersons will. But let me start off by paying a compliment to my worthy opponent. He has been extremely dignified on television, unlike his other co-panelists in his party. And I love to watch him, so I'm glad I'm on this panel with him. Firstly, let me start by saying that thank you. Amitabh, thank you. Because by saying that protests are taking place, he's actually cancelled Rahul Gandhi's democracy is dead jibe. So I guess democracy is not dead. Democracy is alive and kicking. People do protest. The touchstone in a democracy, however, of public sentiment are elections. And unfortunately there, Amitabh, except for Kerala, I think you've been found wanting, because people of this country, right from the Gen Z to millennials to the boomers, all of them support Prime Minister Modi's vision. And while Prime Minister completes a record of being the longest serving elected Prime Minister in this country, let me congratulate Rahul ji for being the longest serving unelected, unelectable leader of opposition in this country. I think he deserves a round of applause for that.
Okay, let me
But having said that, now let me come to the brass tacks of some of the points. Let's talk about FDI, because he comes from the research wing. Let's talk about specifics. 2004 to 14, Manmohan Singh, $300 billion of FDI attracted. 2014 to 26, under Chaiwala OBC Prime Minister Narendra Modi, $700 billion of FDI attracted. PLI scheme started, more than 2 lakh crores of investment have come in that. He talks about economy and the macroeconomic situation. Today we've been the fastest growing large economy in the world for a substantial period of time. Just now we've recorded 7.7% growth and 7.8 in the last quarter. By the way, this is at a time that 3 world crisis and our inflation average has been about 4.5%, whereas that time the inflation was about 10 to 12%. The foreign exchange reserves at that time was $200 billion. Today it's at a comfortable $690 billion. The current account deficit was 4%. Today it's at the range of 1%. So even on the economic platform, for the first time, public sector banks have recorded a profit of 1 lakh crore. These are hard facts. You can't deny them. And what has changed in the last 12 years? Let's get to the larger point. There has been a fundamental shift that I call as Ram and Gita. Now, before secularists get offended, let me tell you. Our template of working has changed. Ram and Gita means what? R for Rashtriya Suraksha. First, Pakistan did terror strikes after terror strikes. We used to give them most favored nation. Today, we have a Rashtriya Suraksha paranormal which says, Ghar mein ghus ke marenge. A for Arthvyavastha. Today, our economy is growing at the fastest rate, bigger than any other large economy. We are fastest. M for Mahila Suraksha and Mahila Sashakti right from women's reservation, which we are trying for, to Beti Bachao, all of these things, toilets in houses, tap water connections, all of them have improved women's situation. Then we go for Gita, G, Garib Kalyan, 25 crore people pulled out of poverty. I for infrastructure, doubling the rates of highways, expressways, 5 metros in 5 cities, today it's in 20 cities, airports doubled. And T for technology.
Coming to infrastructure.
10 seconds more. Technology, this is the biggest game changer. I remember Chidambaram ji mocking us that we could never make UPI and digital payments possible. Today we are doing the maximum digital transactions in the world. More than all the countries put together, India records more digital transactions, and we've even used digital platforms to deliver public services like COVID app, like COVID vaccine. 200 crore doses were delivered without any kind of failure. And A for Atmanirbharta, defense exports. We used to import our defense goods, scams used to take place. Today we have exported defense goods worth 38,000 crores. Have you ever thought of this?
Amitabh, in the Congress's criticism, I found one thing very interesting. You know, when we talked about Narendra Modi becoming the longest serving Indian Prime Minister, non-Congress, and also uninterrupted regime and elected, the Congress pamphlet also said, Dil behlane ko gali bhi khayal acha hai. That's what, you wanted to say that this is all propaganda. When it comes to infrastructure, that is something we can see and not unsee, because that's something that's making, a difference in everybody's life. What do you have to say on that?
So first, let me address what Shehzad said, is that, X number of things are being built more than the previous. Now, in any naturally growing economy, the number of everything will go up, whether it's digital transactions, whether it's number of roads, there is a natural momentum. So just like after the Vajpayee government, the UPA built more, then the Modi government built more, and the next government is going to build even more. So just to add up numbers at random doesn't tell you anything very much. The question is, who is this growth benefiting? It's well understood now that billionaire Raj today is more unequal than the British Raj. The top 1% own 40% of the assets. They earn 20% plus of the income, right? The real wages of both salaried workers and self-employed is lower today after inflation than it was in 2017-18. The real wages of agricultural laborers have been declining over this period. So this is what you can have very fancy growth numbers, and you can have a very good arithmetic sort of set of facts you present, but who is it benefiting? This is the first thing. The second is on technology.
But the government is saying that the welfare net, the safety net has also increased,
the
right?
The fact is that we are forced
and ordinary people are benefiting is what they're saying. Maybe we are not too ordinary to understand that. Is that something that
But ordinary people obviously aren't benefiting if their real wages are going down over a decade. Now, about technology. The UPA, the digital public infrastructure, let's take that as an example. The UPA created Aadhaar. The UPA created the National Payment Corporation of India, immediate payment system, on top of which UPI was built. This foundation laid the grounds for the digital public infrastructure revolution that happened. Now we come to the next stage. We are now in the age of AI. Where is India in the age of AI? What is the infrastructure that the government of India has invested in? We were supposed to be a software superpower. The number of jobs is obviously under severe pressure. What has this government done to take us there? Why is it that TSMC, which is the largest company in Taiwan has a higher market valuation than the entire Indian stock market.
Let me
Shehzad,
address
that's
But
a
let
crit-
me-
yeah,
let me just finish. Let me just
It's
finish.
become very long.
Let him finish. Yeah.
No, let me finish my point. So, just as this government built on the work of the last government, what is the next government going to build on? We are now playing catch up. One reason our money is exiting this market is because all the AI investment opportunities are outside. So, this is a very serious problem. So, we can rest on our laurels, but what are we doing for the future?
If things were going to happen as due course or as a fait accompli, we had 2 mobile phone manufacturing assembling units in this country in 2014. We imported most of our mobile phones for domestic consumption, because of which we were paying high foreign exchanges for importing electronics. Imagine a country like India. Today we have 300 manufacturing assembling units. The biggest Samsung plant is here. We are manufacturing all American iPhones here, and we are exporting mobile phones worth $10 billion after satisfying our domestic demand. And therefore our valuable foreign exchange is not leaving the country. Why didn't you do it? We had 400 startups. Today we had 2 lakh startups. We had 4 unicorns. Today we have 25 unicorns. These are not your Ambani and Adani. Those 400 startups to 2 lakh startups are people who come from small towns, small villages, making it big in life. The problem is that how do you measure the difference between haves and have-nots? The Gini coefficient is the only big proper way to do it. The Gini coefficient over the last 12 years has bettered. It has come closer to 0, which is the issue of how it is becoming more equal. Are we a completely equal society? Not. But Congress party is suggesting as if first people used to be completely equal and 40-50% of the resources were not in the hands of 10%. The Congress created this system. In fact, today, 12 crore people have toilets. 4.5 crore people have pakka houses. 12 crore people have tap water connection. You have a situation where LPG coverage is now 100%. You are now living in a society which has more equality than we had 12 years ago. This is the fact, but 10 seconds more. He spoke about what we are doing for AI. We had an AI summit. Now we don't have summits because we don't know who will go naked there. They removed their t-shirt and they started protesting, call themselves Mahatma Gandhi. And finally, I'm saying that they just last second.
Yeah,
He spoke
please.
quite
Yes.
long.
Okay.
Amitabh says we laid the foundation of everything. I agree, sir. You laid the foundation for everything. You laid the foundation for UPI, yet Chidambaram came and abused it and ditched it. You laid the foundation for GST, yet you all call it Gabbar Singh tax. Let me ask Mr. Amitabh Dubey. We rolled out GST. We got all states on board. The best model of cooperative federalism. And not only did we do that, GST 2.2 has ensured that the average taxes the people of this country pay has reduced. Now couple that with 2 more things. Reduction of income tax. First you used to pay income tax at 2 lakhs. Today you pay it at 12 lakhs. Reduction of EMIs. Reduction of the money you spend on, say, medicines or on internet costs. 300 rupees per GB. Today you pay 10 rupees per GB. All of this has improved the life of the middle class, which you will never understand. That's why you lose elections.
Coming to the AI point, the criticism here is maybe the government doesn't understand the language, but it's not the opposition that's understanding or speaking the language of Gen Z, which is why young people are looking at other options.
No, that's absolutely not correct. Firstly, again, he rattled off a number of facts of things that have expanded, but does the middle class feel that their lives have improved? Do the numbers show that their lives have improved? Have the real salaries gone up? No, they have gone down. So this is the reality. We can talk about Gini coefficients, but I think the average person knows where they stand. About Gen Z, the BJP seems to have decided that Gen Z is a bunch of anti-nationals, right? Judging from what they talk about. They insult the youth of this country. They throw all sorts of accusations at them. And the fact is that it is the Congress and Rahul Gandhi. You see his communications. Sometimes it's embarrassing for me as a Congress person, but there's a bit of a craze in Gen Z, a section of Gen Z for Rahul Gandhi. They consume the content he's produced, the messaging that he has about where this country has to go. It's very clear, it's there for everyone to see. And to demonize a segment is completely wrong in my opinion.
But
the fact
is Rahul Gandhi not able to focus on that one issue which can unify the country? You know, when the CBSE protests were happening, we probably thought he would be sort of leading those protests.
He is. He's absolutely been front and center of this issue.
He was in Andamans, right? So, I mean, he was doing, that's also equally important. But there is a sense that the opposition is not able to optimize on the discontent that prevails in certain sections.
So this is a sense that is created by people who think that just because you cover issue A doesn't mean you can't cover equally important issue B. Let me give you the underlying reality. In 2014, we had an election between the UPA and Mr. Modi and the BJP. It was a free and fair election. right? The outcome was accepted by everyone. Since then, has there been any free and fair election in this country? In 2024...
You just won Kerala.
No.
Congress has won Kerala. Congress is in fact part of the government in Tamil Nadu now.
In 2024, just before the election, Rahul Gandhi was disqualified, our bank accounts were closed, there was a pran pratishtha that became a personal branding exercise, never mind that.
Okay, that's the point. Shehzad
let me just finish very briefly. Then we had Maharashtra and Haryana, which were miraculously won right after defeat through vote chori. Then we had SIR, where lakhs of voters in Bihar and Bengal are cut out, including 27 lakh voters who were entitled to vote in Bengal, who were not allowed to vote. And finally,
Shehzad,
we now have seat chori, where Meenakshi Natarajan is fraudulently denied the opportunity to win her seat. Now, in this situation, how are we expected to compete on an equal basis with the richest party in Indian history?
Shehzad, one important point that he makes is, does the government have the stomach for criticism? Is the government even listening enough to criticism, feedback, especially constructive criticism? Because this anti-national bit is true. Students have been called anti-national, not by the government guys, but people close to the government.
I have written 5 points and it's merging with the points you're making. So let me answer each one specifically. I do that only. We have never called anyone anti-national in terms of Gen Z, etc. In fact, you must have seen Dubey and Cockroach Party protested, and he's given a statement that when I landed, I thought I will be arrested, but immediately, because he must have had experience during Congress time. But he said that immediately I was sent there, we were given protest permission till 5 o'clock, we left at 3 o'clock. Now, having said that, you know who has insulted the Gen Z? Alok Sharma of the Congress. 100 प्रोटेस्टर, उसमें से 75 आपिया, उसमें से 3 मोदी के चमचे, उसमें 50 यूट्यूबर, 100 कैमरामैन, 500 पुलिस वाले. ये अन्ना की आईएसी आरएसएस संघी के साथ थी, ये इनके पास तो ये भी नहीं है. This is the official spokesperson. I am not quoting some random Manishankar Iyer who's no longer in the party. Official spokesperson, boss. We have not said that. Show me one statement officially. Secondly, who votes in Bengal? Gen Z does not vote. Who votes in Jadavpur elections? Who votes in Hyderabad Central University, where nobody expected ABVP to win? We have won. Who voted in Punjab University, Chandigarh University, Dusu? Who's winning those elections? If Gen Z loves Rahul Ji's abs so much, they should vote for him. See, I agree. Rahul Gandhi is Kartik Aryan of Indian politics. सबको पसंद है, अच्छा दिखता है, स्वीट दिखता है, बॉडी है, सब है. Kartik Aryan's movies don't work, and Rahul Gandhi's politics don't work. Now let me go to the next point. And Ranbir कौन है आप सब जानते हैं. धुरंधर कौन है Indian politics का. You know who it is. Anyways, point number 3.
You'll have to wrap up because I have
No, because he spoke so much. Free and fair election. Now, Meenakshi Natarajan के साथ Telangana Congress does खेला, Digvijay Singh and Kamal Nath do खेला, and I am being blamed for it, and he says free and fair election नहीं होता. तो Kerala में it is free and fair. SIR was perfect there, and Bengal it is not perfect. This is called चयनात्मक commitment towards constitution.
In the Meenakshi Natarajan case, because that's something that all of us feel about, isn't the Congress party to be blamed for lack of management? And this is something we hear often. Why is the Congress party not being crafty and astute? Because that is expected of the main opposition party in the country.
In the Meenakshi Natarajan case, it's very clear that the RO, the officer involved, is violating the law of the land by insisting on...
Which law did he violate? Quote the law.
Representation of People Act.
Quote the section.
Yes.
Quote the section.
You quote it, I don't...
The
fact is, let me finish my point. We're not on TV, we can have a relaxed discussion.
Rather, because I'm getting less time than you comparatively.
She asked me a question.
Yes,
the answer is that only a crime where the punishability is more than 2 years and cognizance has been taken has to be reported. Neither applies in this case. So this is an entirely made up rule to deny her right to be elected.
Shehzad, capture of institutions, the biggest allegation that comes from the Congress
party. First of all, you rescue one institution called Congress from the Parivar of Gandhis. वो खुद कैप्चर करके बैठे हैं. Secondly, I am saying that if all of these things are not happening, then Supreme Court में faith है या Supreme Court भी नहीं है faith. And when Kerala same SIR is done, their MLA Matthew.
West Bengal was completely different.
Now we are not on TV. Just use your own advice. SIR is praised by MLA Matthew from Congress in Kerala, saying very good. The left fake voters have been cut. In Bengal, SIR becomes bad. In Kerala, election commission is good. In Bengal, it becomes bad. And Meenakshi Natarajan case, why did she not disclose it? The court has sent someone, and who told us? Telangana Congress.
Okay, that's a different story. I have to wrap now. Thank you so much, both of you. This is a political milestone, 12 years of Modi, but clearly, Shehzad, you'll agree, this is an unfinished story. More has to come.
Yes, we are going on till 47.
Okay,
thank you. So it is unfinished till 47.
Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you.